My speculations were correct. Turns out, while Tesla did not really indicate what products would be getting the new cell-to-pack technology and the updated 4680 battery cells first, and I did a lot of speculation, that video has aged pretty well, and the only reason I'm acting so cocky about it is because I get a lot wrong, and I'm consistently very wrong over time. So when I get something right, I make sure to celebrate a little bit for myself, because Elon tweeted today in response to someone on Twitter asking about which cells Tesla plans on using, and he dumped the big news that Giga Berlin is going to be using these next generation 4680 cells in the Model Y, and they will also be using that front casting process that we talked about earlier, as well as the rear unibody casting press. So one piece on the back, one piece on the front, and the batteries now being structural means an overall 370 part reduction. And of course, rocking these new 4680 cells, which are much better for energy density and reducing weight, which should mean that as soon as Giga Berlin goes online, we're going to see some fascinating prices and range estimates with this Model Y, because it feels like on the outside it may look very similar to the current Model Ys we're seeing, but honestly I don't know if we can even say that at this point, because like Elon said, there's going to be a new state-of-the-art paint shop going in at Giga Berlin, and Elon talks about how there's a lot of production risks when implementing all these new technologies at the same time. So Giga Berlin is basically going to be the pilot line for a lot of new technologies, including these new cells, and once it's kind of proven and they can consistently churn out the 4680 cells and use these new paint methods and of course the new casting presses for both the front and back of the vehicle, then they will eventually down the road implement them into Shanghai and Fremont, and Elon said that would be in around 2 years, though I believe there is some significant sandbagging going around right now, and Elon is very much trying to avoid the Osborne effect, because obviously that is a real concern here when you're announcing batteries and you're announcing new manufacturing techniques that are so much better than what they're actually doing today. A lot of people are going to start thinking, well, should I wait? Should I hold off? Should I see if the cells are really going to be as much better as Tesla talked about them being? And the good news is, which I originally speculated on before, is that the Model Y is the perfect vehicle for Tesla to introduce all these new manufacturing techniques and introduce these new cells, because they haven't officially launched it in Europe yet. Yeah, all the Teslas over there have to be shipped in from Fremont, and so far they've only shipped in Model S's, X's, and 3s in Europe, and may I add, they're still doing incredibly well. That's with the import tariffs and with all the shipping costs Tesla has to cover. So now imagine how Tesla's going to be doing in Europe once they're actually producing the vehicles there, and they don't have to put up with so many tariffs and shipping costs. But fact is, people who are ordering the Model Y in Europe have to wait until Berlin is actually going to be producing them before they can get delivery. So there's no Osborne effect really possible, because the made in Germany Model Y is going to be so much more drastic, and if you're in Europe and you order a Model Y today, you're just going to be told to wait until Giga Berlin comes online, which, by the way, it's doing very well on schedule. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit ahead. There are some rumors going around right now suggesting that they're even going to start hiring and employing people as soon as March, just to get things kind of up and running and start putting machinery in place and start prototype testing a lot of these new manufacturing techniques. I'm sure that they're going to be doing at Berlin between the paint shop, all these new stamping presses, the battery technology, and of course cell production. There's a whole lot of stuff they have to test at Giga Berlin. So just because March could be the month that people actually start checking in or actually working at the facility, that doesn't mean vehicles will be produced in March. If anything, I would say it's probably still reasonable to assume around May or June is when the first production-ready Model Ys will be coming out and start delivering to consumers. But with that being on schedule, I'm pretty sure Elon is just at the best of his ability trying to say, you know, yeah, we're going to implement the 4680 cells into other vehicles, and now today he's dropping the news of, well, you know, we will do it on the made in Germany Model Y, sure, and he just wants to avoid putting the two sentences together that made in Germany Model Y has the next generation cells, and also Germany is way ahead of schedule and the first vehicles coming out could be summer of 2021. He doesn't want those two sentences put together, but I think separately he will agree to them. And yes, also in Germany we're going to be using these new cells. So on Twitter he'll at the same time say, yeah, you're not going to see any type of serious production of these new cells. We're going to increase our orders from our current suppliers, and Tesla batteries aren't going to drastically change overnight. So please keep buying today's vehicles. There won't be any meaningful battery production until 2022, but at the same time, yeah, Germany's going to get them and Germany's ahead of schedule. So Tesla has a very delicate delicate balance here. They have to be very, very careful with how much they announce and how much they don't announce, but at the end of the day, the fact still remains that Germany is going to be getting an insanely good vehicle that is very, very different internally than the Model Y in the United States. From the outside, may not be super noticeable aside from great quality control and maybe some new paint color options, but finally getting confirmation from Elon about this is very, very encouraging, and it just logically makes so much sense that they would want to implement all of these new battery technologies in Germany first, because that factory is in construction right now and should be operational in less than a year, and being able to see those range improvements and those price improvements will be very, very interesting midway through 2021. And that, of course, confirms, yeah, Giga Texas is definitely going to be producing 4680 cells at scale and likely implementing the next generation paint shop, and in time, I'm sure Shanghai and Fremont will all catch up. Sounds like pretty much, if Elon is correct with his timelines here, by the end of 2022, all the factories should be somewhat up to date with new manufacturing techniques like the presses and the new paint shops and the cell-to-pack technology. Whether it's Shanghai, Fremont, Texas, Berlin, they're all going to be using the same techniques, and we should be getting better, cheaper, and better quality control vehicles from Tesla, which is awesome. So I'm very excited to see these results. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.